For the pledge, Joanne, please lead. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. I ask the President headline. Obeyed. Paul Gahan. Watson. Barrett. Obeyed. And Gahan. And Barrett. Seconded by motion. Seconded by motion. Motion by headline by Barrett. Resolved at a conference. Motion by headline, seconded by Barrett. Resolved at a conference.
Before we accept it, can I strike the resolution?
We can do that while we accept it. So, before you vote, sorry, so, motion by the head inspector, resolved at a conference. Discuss and issue any additional resolutions.
Yes.
Okay, what are you trying to do with that?
I would like to strike resolution 14 because there is a policy that is already basically stating that. So there's no need to add that.
Anyone have any reservations?
All right. So we're voting on the agenda with the
So we're voting on the agenda with the striking of resolution number 14. All in favor?
Motion carries.
Any opposed?
5 ayes.
Motion carries. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 ayes, 2 ayes.
Resolution number 2, a motion to go into closed session.
Resolution number 2, a motion to go into closed session.
Any motion by headline by name. Results of the board and the secretary by name.
Results of the board as the
Three readings considered legal opinion. Council, all in favor?
Considered legal opinion. Any opposed? All in favor?
Carried.
Aye.
5
Any
ayes,
opposed?
absent.
Motion carries. 5 ayes, 2 absent. Closed at 6:02 p.m. Number three, motion to open session by
Motion
resolution.
by Headland, seconded by Ferris.
I heard Headland,
Resolved that the
second.
Board of Education does
Motion by Headland, seconded by Ferris. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby resume the meeting in
PM, all
open
in
session
favor?
at
Any opposed?
6:50
Motion carries
PM.
5
All
ayes,
in
2
favor?
absent. The meeting resumes
Any
at
opposed?
6:50.
Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. The meeting resumes and open at 6:50.
All right, next up, we
Thank you so
have
much
board
for being
calendar
patient.
updates.
All right, next up, we
committee of
have
the
board
whole,
calendar updates. So
clashes
our
with,
committee of the
scholarship
whole,
events that two of our teachers are
clashes
recognized
with
at.
scholarship
And
events that
Ms.
two of our
O'Hara will not
teachers
be
are
here.
recognized
She
at.
doesn't have to be here, we can run a
And
meeting without the
Ms.
speaker.
O'Hara will not be
Since
here.
it is a study
She
session,
doesn't have to be here, we can run a meeting without the
want her
speaker,
there.
but since it is a
Is
study
the board
session, we don't
available?
have
Do you guys
questions.
still want to
I
carry?
want her there. Is the board available? Do you guys still want her there?
Obay's not
Okay,
available.
so you're not available, and Obay's not available, that's two, we just still have it. How about everyone
You're
else?
not available. Watson has not showed up in 2 meetings.
You're not available. Watson has not showed up in 2 meetings, so I'm gonna presume she's not
So
available.
if Watson's available, will you two?
So if Watson's available, will you two?
Third,
You wanna have a
fourth
problem?
Wednesday is August 23rd at 6
It's the
p.m.
fourth, third, it's the fourth Wednesday.
So it'd just be the 4 of us.
PM.
If Watson shows up.
So it'd just be the 4 of
Watson,
us.
Hall,
If
Ayash.
Watson shows up.
We can have another administrator
Hall.
replacing Ms. Hall
Ayash.
for questions. But
We
what do
can have
think?
another administrator replacing Ms. Hyde if you have questions. So what do we think then?
Okay, then it's just the women and we don't have quorum.
Okay, then it's just the women, and now we don't have quorum.
And if you are available,
And if you are,
if
if you are available, I don't know, Ms. Hyde, give us the trainings that are being
well,
recognized. Okay. Oh, well,
the,
6:30.
so
okay,
the,
so our August will be canceled, but then we will have a September regular
okay,
meeting.
so our August will be canceled, but we will have a September
another
regular meeting.
closed session, so people read that.
We will have
And
another
then we have a September
closed session,
27th
so
meeting.
we will do that.
Is there anything in advance I
And
should know
then we have
about, or
September
are we looking to
27th
be
meeting.
available?
Is there anything in advance I should know about, or are we looking to be available?
All right, thank you so much.
So far, so good?
Next up, our consent agenda,
All right,
approval
thank you
consent,
so
do I have a
much.
motion?
Next
All right,
up, our
Head one,
consent
do I have a
agenda approval consent, do I have a motion?
Head one and Hall.
All right, Head one, do I
Resolved upon the
have a
recommendation of super, that the
Head
board
one and Hall.
approve the following
Resolved
items
upon the
of
recommendation
consent.
super, that the Board of Education
I
approves
gotta
the following items
move
of
the approval of minutes for the budget hearing.
I gotta move
Consent that I want to
the
make an
approval of minutes
addition.
for the budget hearing.
But everything else
from
on
the
there
consent
is
that I wanna
fine.
make an
Is the
addition,
board okay with that?
but everything else on there is
Item one,
fine.
A, I'm gonna
Is the
move
board okay with
because I
that?
want to make a correction.
Item 1A, I'm gonna move just because I wanna make a correction.
I need to hear yes or no.
I need to say yes or no.
All right, so we're gonna vote on the consent, we're approving everything in the consent,
Yes, I
we're
can.
removing.
All right, so we're gonna vote on the consent, we're approving everything in the consent,
For the
we're
budget hearing, is a
removing,
separate standalone,
approval of
with
minutes.
correction.
For the budget hearing, it's
So
a
all in
separate
favor?
standalone, so there's no correction.
Any opposed?
So
Motion
all in
carried,
favor?
5 ayes,
Aye.
2 absent.
Any opposed? Motion carried, 5 ayes, 2
We're gonna change all the
absent.
resolution numbers. Oh.
Then we're gonna go into, we're gonna change all the resolution numbers. We're gonna,
And
audience
then we have
participation,
reports
we
to
have
the board of
non-partisan
Summit. I'm
meetings.
gonna move up the correction.
And then we have reports to the.
So,
Let's not
the
have a
resolution
move up
number
the correction
5,
while it's here.
approval of
So
meeting minutes.
there'll be resolution number 5,
Everything after that's gonna go
approval
back
of meeting minutes.
So resolution
And
number
everything after
5,
that's gonna go back in numbers, okay? So resolution number 5.
approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
Hang on.
I heard head one, do I have a
Approval of
second?
minutes, do I have a
I heard
motion?
Ferris.
I heard
Resolved,
that
the
one,
Board
do I
of
have a second?
Education does hereby approve the meeting
I heard
minutes
Ferris.
as
Resolved that the
presented.
Board of Education does hereby
As
approve the
presented
meeting
in the
minutes
resolution,
as
right?
presented, as Jones
Okay.
Jordan, as
All right, so
presented
the
in
only
the
addition I want to make
resolution,
to
right?
the budget hearing
Okay,
notes.
all right, so the only addition I want to
We had,
make to
board
the
members
budget
asked,
hearing notes
so I remember
is
everyone in
we
Oakley
had
specifically,
board members
but if anyone
asked,
else
so
wants
I
to
remember
remind me,
everyone in
please do.
Oakley specifically.
Specifically asked
But if
about
anyone else
if
wants
the
to
taxes
remind me,
will
please do.
increase, did the levy
Specifically
increase?
asked
There was a lot
about
of discussion
if the
around
taxes
levy
will
increase.
increase, did the levy increase, there was a lot of discussion around the levy.
Can we have that noted in the
intentional
minutes?
in choosing those
Don't
levy
know what I'm
numbers?
saying?
Can we have that noted in the minutes? Don't know what I'm saying?
Yes, in that portion, yes. So we'd be putting it there, that there was additional board
In that
discussion.
So we'd be putting it there, that there was additional board discussion,
And how they were
so setting the tax rates, how they were set that way, and how they were.
Had one debate asked about it, but we
I'm
can change the
specifically
language
gonna
to board
set,
discussion.
I don't want to wait asked about it,
Correct.
but we can change the language to board discussion. I don't mind either way, but I want to make that clear.
Anyways. Are we good with that? Does everyone understand what I'm trying to add to the budget meeting? Okay. So, roll call vote, how do you vote, Ferris? Headline? Algenheim? Hall? And Ayash, aye. Resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent for the resolution number 5, approval of meeting minutes. Okay. Now, we're gonna get into reports to the board by Ms. Ahmed. Take it away.
Thank you so much. Good evening. I would like to thank everyone who exercised their right to vote and those who support education. The Sinking Funds campaign has been a high priority for me to start the awareness campaign with our community during the fall of 2021. Unfortunately, things were out of my control, and upon my return to the school district in February of 2023, I yet again made that a priority. The board finally approved a resolution in May of this year. With only a few months, we did what we could. But by no means was it enough. This is why I implore everyone at HPS to be student-focused and focus on the needs at hand. The school infrastructure remains a top priority, and we are making some exciting improvements in our buildings at HPS. To date, Holbrook will have new windows, an updated kitchen, and gymnasium. ECE will have new windows and HVAC. Talbeda, Horizon, and the central building will also have work done on their roofs, and the community center will have air conditioning, HVAC. These are exciting and very, very necessary. As I had shared, I will continue my advocacy at both the state and the national level when it comes to the capital project funding. As I had shared, it is quite unfortunate that Michigan is one of only 12 states in the nation that does not receive capital funding. And that's why we go back to the residents. So I would like to bring awareness to that and make sure that we provide the supports that we need for our community members, especially during the hard times that we currently are facing. It is essential that our students and staff operate in environments that are not only safe, clean, and healthy, but also foster creativity and innovation. Additionally, as we prepare for the academic year, I would like to acknowledge our General Motors partners, which consisted of about 50 volunteers who took time to transform 17 classrooms at Hamtramck High School and also paint 2 murals, one on the environment and awareness and the second on STEAM. This was done within 72 hours. The theme, new paint, new start. The spaces that we live in are very important for us to function and do what we need to do. The painting included hallway murals dedicated to environmental change and awareness and STEAM. We are grateful for the volunteers that dedicated their time and service to making Hamtramck High School a space for greater things. The second I would like to report, which you mentioned, is the AAYSP scholarship event. The American Association of Yemeni Students and Professionals will recognize 2 of our teaching staff, Holly Gilbert and Victoria Keller. And our HPS students at the AAYSP Scholarship Gala on August 23rd at 6:30, and have extended an invitation to the governance team. Next on the list is our summer school report, and we have Miss Leanne Horn. Ms. Horn has led the efforts at Hamtramck High School for the summer school that offered our largest group of students an opportunity to get back on track, using and infusing technology into their learning, having direct experiences as they explored new places and built stronger bonds with each other and with their teachers. So, Ms. Horn, take it over.
So we have a couple, I know, A students here, they would say, hey, I'll just do summer school and get, no. You had to not be successful in the class in order to come to summer school. So it's not an opportunity for students to come in and take additional classes to graduate early or anything like that. Now, it's also an opportunity for students to use the internet to find information and apply it to their learning. Well, a lot of teachers might call that cheating, but it's not. That's what we do in real life. If you need to get information on a budget, a levy, or how a building is created or whatever, you're gonna look that up. You're not gonna know that by heart. And that's basically what happens. The students are taking a class they weren't successful in, and it's numerous activities that they have to respond to. So it's a set of friends. Did you learn new skills? Did you change your mindset? That was our goal this year. Or if you didn't come to summer school, did you play with your phone, watch TV, sleep in? We really acknowledge these students and praise them for coming to school, for making a change, giving themselves a second chance. We were very supportive. The teachers were loving, kind, welcoming. They didn't miss class. The teachers were there. It was very, very professional, and that you could feel it. We had no discipline problems, zero. We had no fights, no running in the hall, nothing. It ran perfect. So what we did this summer, we got back on track. Just like Mrs. Ahmed mentioned, these kids, if we keep pushing them down, they're more likely to give up. So we really created this, and we inspired them that you can get back and be in your class again, and it's okay. It's all right to make mistakes. We learned the power of technology. That's what we all use. If I'm looking for a lesson plan, even as a teacher, I don't have to write my own. I can look up what this all-star teacher did, or I can find stuff, and it's okay. And I saw a lot of kids that had never known each other, and now they have new friends. This is, the yellow thing is how many kids we had to remove. Why did we remove kids? Not for discipline. It's because as teachers, we had discussed that it would be a maximum of 3 absences. Unfortunately, but during the first week we had Eid, and then the next week we had 4th of July, so we created 6 days. We increased it because there was just like the communication, when to start, when it could go, what time it was. I had switched things around to an all-day program, and some kids didn't know that. So even with that said, we lost like 24 students, but when you look up here, 72% of our students finished at least one course, and the red one are kids that did 2 or more. We had one student that finished 3. So if they wanted to work nonstop, they could. The tests had to be opened by the teacher, and they took their test with the teacher. They did not do those unchaperoned. Field trips. Yes, we had lots of field trips that it was like a lot of events going on. Recapture had to have a field trip every week. And the first one, what they did is they had a speaker come in from WCCC. If you don't know, that's our new partner with dual enrollment. And they were very nice, and the kids really inspired the kids, and then they went and took a tour of campus. The following week they went on the Diamond Jack boat cruise. Kids really seemed to have a nice time. And then the next week they went to the Science Museum. And up here, this is where the high school went. They got to go to the Henry Ford and go to the 60-foot tall. And what was a special treat is after they got done, Miss Porter, who I know you're probably all familiar with, met them and put on a private showing right there for them, and did her character because she was working at the village that day. So it's really nice. So the kids got to socialize and enjoy their field trip. I don't think I'm anything on the last slide, because what it was is that we actually had an honor ceremony for the students. We had prizes for all of them. It's like different, like nothing over the top, but backpacks. I went and got all this stuff, and then we acknowledged all the kids that had perfect attendance. We had 10 that didn't miss a day, and we had frame plaques and stuff for them. And then all the rest of the kids had baskets full of goodies, treats, pens, pencils, and they really seemed to enjoy it. But that's because they were there, and we wanted to. What I really caution them as, and maybe even you as adults, when you have victories in life, make sure you give yourself a minute. I mean, today it's sad, the millage didn't pass, but think of all the good work you've done this year. Like, think about all the kids you've helped. That's what I tell them. I told them, like, you've worked this hard, you've made a change in your life, and it's very positive, and I was happy to be there to support them. Next year, I think you should hire all your teachers, though, in April. Just so you can have some working meetings before, so it's coordinated. I didn't do anywhere near the job that she did. Like, we had kits with supplies and things like that. I mean, but I hit the ground running. I was like, but it is what it is. But next year, you know, well, there's going to be good. I think we'll even have more change. Also, the one thing that maybe you guys don't understand is that currently E2020 is only available to seniors. I think that and I've already spoken to Mr. Strouder, our new principal, that maybe next year you could have it that when the student fails the course, that they're able to join in E2020 after school, like get signed up right away. So if they failed English 9A, let's have them right into online and get it done. So they're right on track. That's it. Do you guys have any questions about summer school?
Thank you for all your
Thank
Mrs. Horn, just one question. What are the total number of students that participated?
We had 180 signed up, 167 are still working, so that's great. Yeah, the teachers called them every week. They were magnificent.
Thank you so much, Ms. Horn.
You're welcome.
So this is a beautiful transition to Dickinson East field trips. I'm going to jump right to that because research indicates that students benefit from experiential learning, and this is the direct experiences that offer students who participate during field trips experience that gives them a more positive attitude when it comes to the subject area that they're studying. Many researchers have investigated knowledge gain and learning that occurred during field trips. Experiential learning is authentic, firsthand, sensory-based learning. Students discuss, disassemble, reassemble. So learning consists of grasping an experience and then transforming it into an application or result. And Dickinson East was given a generous gift of $20,000 by a former Dolphin student. Mr. Chowdhury wanted to give back, and he doesn't want any recognition or anything, but this is something I feel, and Mrs. Dr. Elvey also feels, but she could not be in attendance today, is important just to share with the public the wonderful contribution and generous offer that he made to have our students experience these lived experiences that they enjoyed immensely. He is also seeking to partner with AT&T to build a playground for our Dickinson East students, because he wanted to contribute and make a contribution that would involve all students at Dickinson East. We are grateful for his generosity and respect his efforts to give back and make a difference in the lives of our very deserving students. So these are some pictures that we have. And all of the field trips that he attended.
You gotta fix the arrows all the way to the top. There you go. Make it big again.
That's okay. You could just go too fast.
Oh my gosh. You can stand up. I don't want to see the. I know. It's all right. No,
This is the Detroit Zoo.
Yeah. Oh, this is a lot. Thank you for filtering the kids' faces. I really appreciate that. 74, cute. Cute.
Wow.
Thank you, Mr.
And now, speaking of parks, I just want to share with you the wonderful news regarding the Kaboom partnership and the Playscape. Our students had a wonderful opportunity to design plans for a new playground. On July 25th through 28th, we had volunteers who were able to build the new playground at Veterans Park, and then the project was so successful that our partners at Kaboom and GM would like to extend this to other parks in the city of Hamtramck. So we're excited about this opportunity. And they are paying all expenses, they just need labor. They just need the hard work. So as soon as we have that information, please, volunteer, see what you could do, because we definitely would need volunteers. And then finally, last but not least, is our Family Fun Fair. I just want to inform everyone and remind everyone that there's been a lot of dedicated efforts to making this event a success. It's going to be our 5th annual Family Fun Fair, which is scheduled for August 16th from 11 to 2 at Pulaski Park. Our HPS educators, leaders, and community partners will be there. There will be free backpack, snacks, face painting, Jazzy the Clown, everyone. And there will be a bike raffle, so we hope to see you there. Thank you so much to the efforts of Mrs. Puskovic and Mrs. Albert for coordinating this event. So, and then the final thing is just, I appreciate our administrators, our students, and our families for really working together to make it work this summer. We had summer school, we had a lot going on, and we were limited to basically Dickinson East and Hamtramck High School and the central office. And I just appreciate everyone sharing the space, working with one another. We're hoping to have very positive environments that will be conducive for learning and for teaching. Coming back in the fall, we may be delayed in some buildings, so we are looking at a plan B to go virtual for our ECE Cubs and for our Holbrook Hawks. More information will be shared with our families. The team is looking at a plan B, a plan C, to make sure that the families and staff are prepared for that event. And I'm just very grateful for everyone's agility to get the job done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Ahmed, for the super report. Next up, we have resolution number 6, approval of employment. I have had one. Do I have a second? I remember I changed it. Okay. Resolution number 6, approval of employment. A motion by head one. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard Elgaham first. Motion by head one, second by Elgaham. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the employment of James Larson Schindler as the CFO. Annual salary $147,600, effective August 7, 2023. Do we have any discussion? All right, roll call vote. How do you go, how do you vote, Elgaham?
Aye.
Ferris? Head one. Paul? Aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 7, approval of employment. Do I have a motion? I have head one. Do I have a second?
Second.
I heard Ferris. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the employment of Hiba Mesto as the AP of DE Elementary, Step 4 of the High Contract, effective July 31st, 2023. Do we have any discussion? Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is the CFO here?
Yes.
Oh, please stand up. We can recognize you. Hi. Welcome to the Hamtramck Public School family. Welcome. Apologies about that. All right.
Thank you.
So, any discussion on Hiba Mesto as AP of DE? Ms. Ahmed, you made this decision appropriately, yes, I guess, is my question? Absolutely. Thank you so much. How do you vote? Hall? Elgaham?
Aye.
Ferris?
Aye.
Headline? And aye, resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 8, approval of employment. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I heard head one and then Ferris. Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the employment of Angela Parkman as the Director of Special Ed, Step 4 of the High Contract, effective August 7, 2023. Do we have any discussion? All right, how do you vote, Elgaham?
Aye.
Ferris?
Aye.
Hall? Head one? And I, resolution passes. 5 ayes, none, 2 absent. Is Angela here?
I don't think she is.
Okay. I was like, is Hiba here? Sorry, I'm skipping steps, y'all. Well, congratulations. Resolution number 9, approval of employment. Do I have head 1? Do I have a second? Ferris, motion by head 1, second by Ferris. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the employment of Lawrence Strotter as the principal of the Ham High, step 9 of the hot contract effective August 2nd, 2023. Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, he is.
Let's vote on him first. How do you vote? How do you vote, Olgaham?
Aye.
Hall? Head 1? Ferris? Aye. Resolution passes. Lawrence, would you please stand up? I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome to the team. All right. Resolution number 10, approval of conference attendance. Do I have a motion? All right, head 1, do I have a second? Olgaham, motion by head 1, second by Olgaham. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the request of Craig Daniels, Recreation Director, to attend the NRPA 2023 annual conference to be held in Dallas, Texas, October 10th to the 13th. Total approximate cost $2,400. Craig, are you here? Mr. Daniels?
I have questions for him.
Is he not available?
He
Hi.
was, I thought he would be here. I think he was with the PAL League today and was hoping that he would be here before it got to this.
Oh, no. Okay. So we can try to answer your question?
Well, I mean, I just feel like, we had approved the conference last year, and we asked for an update on the conference. We got it a few months later. But from what I've seen, we're still not showing any kind of improvements with our recreation department. It's the one department that we're always in a negative yearly. So until we can improve it on a district-wide level, I mean, there's Michigan, like I'm sure there's conferences that are held in Michigan before we start approving these out-of-state contracts. I mean, trips, when we're not getting seen any results from the ones we've approved priorly. Maybe a more localized thing would benefit.
I see what you're saying, because we are one of the only districts that runs our recreation.
Yes.
So it might be, I see what you're saying. Anyone else?
Yeah. Well, for now, I mean, until we can see some kind of improvements. We haven't seen no improvements with our recreation department year after year.
So for clarity to the board members, we only approve field trips that are overnight for kids or out of state, and we only approve professional development that happens out of state. Professional development that happens in state does not have to come before us at all. So if Craig wants to take an opportunity to do something in Michigan, we don't have to vote on it. The only reason votes have to come to us is when it's an out-of-state event, out-of-state professional development, and it's in our policies, that's why we do it. But there's nothing limiting you to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't limit any Michigan-based professional development. Okay. Any other discussion? Sorry, he's not here, but, okay. Then how do you vote, head one? Ferris? Hall? Olgaham?
Nay.
And Ayash nay. Resolution fails. 5 nays, 2 absent. Would anyone like to leave a comment?
I would just like to see some kind of continuous quarterly improvement, just updates for us so we know, because, this is a new year. Let's get it from the beginning. Let's try to get numbers and see where we're at before our end of the year budget report, where we're in a deficit once again. If we're providing all these activities, if someone not working, then why are we continuing to waste the money on providing that same activity over and over? I'd just like more clarity and maybe a better plan of understanding of what we're looking forward for the next couple of months from Mr. Daniels and his team.
Okay, and I'd like to leave it on the record that this was not a personal thing to Mr. Daniel. We encourage professional development, and I'm sure there's Michigan-based opportunities. Okay, anyone else? You?
The staff run school.
Sorry,
They don't have basketball anymore.
the rec doesn't have basketball anymore?
Dixie's, Holbrook, West, they used to have like basketball teams during the school year. In Taveta, they don't have it anymore.
Really?
And then I don't want any volunteering coaches. I want the coaches to get, the rec aides to get paid like they used to.
We had discussion about recreation. Okay, Ms. Ahmed, can you please note there's concerns about volunteer coaches instead of paid coaches? All labor should be paid, please. In addition to bringing back the elementary school-based sports teams. Basketball, okay, basketball specifically? Okay.
Basketball and football?
Is volleyball still?
The more we can offer for our kids, the better, but let's start back by getting our basketball back.
Yeah, because that's fair.
Anything else while we're still here about recreation? All right. Resolution number 11, the approval of purchase. I have a motion. I heard head one, and then okay. Okay, thank you. A motion by oh my God, I'm going too fast. Sorry. Motion by oh my God, I did it again. Motion by head one, seconded by Al-Gaheem. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the purchase of 364 Chromebooks and licensing from CDWG for students at Ham High. Total cost not to exceed $151,060, funded through Title I. Do we have discussion? Mark, are you here? Mark, it feels like we are purchasing laptops at every single meeting. What's going on here?
Well, this summer.
Come on up, wait to hear you.
Okay, so, yeah, no problem. So this summer alone, we're retiring like more Chromebooks than we have students. So we're basically have to replace the entire fleet. That's what we're in process of doing.
How old is the fleet?
It depends on which devices, because they're kind of retired at different times, but the 3800 that we're retiring right now is basically like they're 7 years old, going on 8.
What's the life expectancy for?
Most devices, you want to plan to get about 7 years out of them. Now, these, I'd be happy to like stretch it out, but we can't, because these devices, they're very inexpensive, and we pay for this licensing that allows us to manage the fleet as one. And Google plans to say, okay, you've had these a long time, it's time to buy more, but they're really inexpensive. So we can deliver the content to our students for a fraction of the price we would with like a Windows laptop or a MacBook. So they get the content they need at a fraction of the price. And most devices, within 7 or 8 years, they're pretty much borderline useless anyways.
So you anticipate these purchases, I'll say 6 years to be gracious, but you at least anticipate having them for at least 6 years if we purchase them?
We do our best to do, yeah, I do my best to buy devices that have the longest like stretch available before they go off of what's called auto update expiration is the actual term for it. So.
And are these, also with technology kind of like changing so quickly, will these Chromebooks still be capable of moving with the time? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, the software update.
Yeah.
The hardware's gonna be like faster hardware. Most of that's software based, like as things develop, and that we always have the option to add when we're delivering the content to the students over the devices. So, and then when we have instances of devices that are required for specific tasks, then we do place those strategically where they need to go. Like certain coding classes have to have like a Windows laptop. Do you know what I mean? So like we'll, strategically place those.
Real quick, so how many times are we anticipating to continue this year alone to purchase Chromebooks?
Yeah, Andrea, if you got answers, join us. Seriously,
So,
we can help us out.
if we're ordering, so I feel like from the last couple of meetings, we've ordered excess of 1,000.
Yeah,
And now, I mean, which is fine.
Yep.
We want the best for the students, but how much are we anticipating more to order this year?
So I don't control the principal's budgets, so I can't answer that. Because the Title I budgets are, they're,
I'm saying from a technology point of view, you said there's 3,800 computers that
We-
are outdated,
we have to restock almost every building except for Dickinson East.
and is this gonna restock every building, or are you gonna?
No, that's just for the high school.
Right, so.
And that's not even gonna completely stock the classrooms. Those are for devices that are going back into the carts.
And are we recycling, or what are we doing?
Recycling, and we are going to, we signed up for an auction warehouse for the devices that are still functional but we can't use. We're gonna attempt to get the maximum amount of dollars out of them by auctioning them. Because companies that offer purchase options, it's dismal what they're offering us for them, so.
Andrea, do you want to say something?
I just wanted to add that the resolution number 11 and 12 are both part of the title budget.
Yeah.
So that was stuff that was approved, so they're like not things that we're asking for just out of nowhere. They were approved and we're using it, or we have to spend that money, so that was the specific line items for number 11 and number 12. So that's just fulfilling the title budget.
Thanks for that clarity.
Right, and
Yep.
and it's important to note, like, the second resolution, number 11, though, I'm looking at number 11, those purchases are specifically for 5 sections of coding. So we're expanding our opportunities for our students in terms of.
No, it's 12 is the added resolution. So if it's
Oh,
11,
okay, 12 then, pardon me. So, you know, as we are moving to the digital learning, you know, we have various opportunities where students are using the computer and these devices, either for intervention, reading, math intervention, or for coding and other computer science classes. And in addition to that, we are also trying to provide opportunities to integrate the technology into the curriculum. So, and finally, most of our assessments are are dependent on, you know, these devices. So we have multiple
I think I can
reasons for
clarify what we're
using.
saying. So, I think as a board, we're specifically worried about purchasing lemons, if that makes sense. So we just wanted to make sure that if something is being purchased, there's a way to kind of get our money's worth with it versus buying things out of convenience, you know? So I think Mark cleared that up. Mr. Hedlund, do you have anything else? No. Anyone else? Sorry, I need to call you up. Anyone else with discussion?
Would it help if we did an inventory and then provide you with the information of what we have currently in stock and then
Yes,
the new
please.
purchases?
Yeah, actually, why not? Can you do that as a report?
Okay, so then we could work on an inventory. I know that's a part of the plans we were talking, so.
We just don't have a pretty one, we'll make a pretty, you know, it's like a gigantic list.
Okay, got it. Any other discussion? All right, how do you vote? I'll get him.
Aye.
Sarah? Sorry, Hedwig, welcome back to you. Paul? Sarah, thank you. And aye. A resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 12, approval of purchase. I heard Hedwig, do I have a second?
Second.
I heard Elgahane. Resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the purchase of 27 HP notebooks from CDWG for students at Ham High. Total cost, please, we're trying to run a meeting. Resolved the Board of Education does hereby approve the purchase of 27 HP notebooks from CDW-G for students at Ham High. Total cost not to exceed $33,782. Funded through Title I. Do we have any discussion? All right, how do you vote, Ferris? Hedwig? Paul? Gahane?
Aye.
And aye. Resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 13, approval of purchase. Do I have a motion? Hedwig, do I have a second?
Second.
Elgahane, resolved that the Board of Ed does hereby approve the purchase of 120 Wacom Pro tablets from CDWG for students at Ham High. Total cost not to exceed $30,000. Funded through Title I. Any discussion?
Wacom?
Wacom, that's what I said. Wacom?
What is that, like the?
Wacom.
Yeah, it's I think it's pronounced Wacom.
Wacom.
Is it like a?
What is it,
low-end
like?
Android tablet?
It's actually not a tablet in the classic sense. It's a device. They're intended for mathematics students at the high school that they can actually interface with any device they're using and have that tactile mathematics ability where they can write, you know, like for doing their equations.
Any other discussion? How do you vote, Hedwig?
Aye.
Paul? Ferris? Elgahane?
Aye.
And aye. Resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. Resolution number 14, approval of staff pay increases. Do I have a motion? Hedwig, do I have a second?
Second.
I heard Ferris. Resolve the Board of Ed does hereby approve a 3% increase for the following non-represented staff effective with their 23-24 school year. It's a list of names. Do we have discussion? So we're adding Mariana Maros. What's her title?
She's a district ELD facilitator.
Okay, district.
Facilitator.
Okay, so it's a list of names, and we're adding to the bottom of it Mariana Maros, district ELD facilitator. Do we have any discussion?
Are these contract employees?
That is correct.
They are contract employees.
Yes, they're not affiliated with any collective bargaining unit.
And what's the rationale for their pay increase?
This is just inflation increase, which we provide for all of our staff.
Any other discussion?
Does this need to come to the board? Is there contract employees?
It's a good question. Does it
The-
need to come
the-
back?
The, once they sign their individual contracts and they become our employees, we just renew their contracts each year pending their evaluation and that they've, that they've been doing what they're supposed to be doing on the job. But because they're not in a bargaining unit, all 4 of the other bargaining units got a 3% raise on their contracts this year. So we felt that it was fair that these 17 people also get that 3% raise that all the other bargaining units get. Because these people are just in different jobs that don't really fall into bargaining units.
Count 16.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure, who are you missing?
Pardon?
I counted 16.
16 would be.
Oh, 16, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. The original policy. So some contracted employees, their raise is automatically part of their contract, are these people not a part of that?
Right, we have other contracted employees that the increase has been built into their contract. Unfortunately, with these employees, it's not built in. So that's why we go to the board for approval of the 3% increase.
And where are we at with our parapro?
We're making progress. We hope to sign the memo of understanding and then move forward. We just have a couple of questions we're seeking clarity, but we hope that we would move forward with that.
I can answer that question.
Right, any other discussion? How do you vote, Paul? Hedwig?
Aye.
Ferris? Elgin?
Nay.
Nay? Ayash? I don't know. Because you brought up Harris, now I'm thinking about that.
I understand, but this is,
I know.
this is different.
I can answer the question.
So is it for just this year?
It's a yearly thing.
This is annually.
Yeah, this is just this year.
So Jack would just be for this year?
Yes.
Ayash, nay. Resolution fails. 2 nays, 3 ayes, 2 absent. Can we actually get? The Board of Ed does hereby approve approval of a 3% increase for the following non-residential status effective with the 23-24 school year.
It's 3%, and I mean, we gotta show that we appreciate and value that staff.
Can someone that didn't say nay reopen it?
I'd like to reopen it.
Okay.
For a vote.
Okay, reopening resolution 14, approval of staff increase.
Can we bring that up when we get to the paraprofessional?
What do you mean? I don't want, the thing is,
Let's do 2 different things.
okay, resolution number 14, approval of staff pay increases. This is a remotion. Do I have a remotion?
Motion.
Headline, do I have a? Okay. Elgin, result of the Board of Ed does hereby approve a 3% pay increase for the following non-residential staff effective for the 23-24 school year, so that it was stated. Again, we're adding the name Mariana Maros for District ELD Facilitator. Do we have discussion on the remotion?
Should I restate what I said?
Oh, no, you.
I basically, I'm saying is, we say we value our staff and
We do.
teachers and stuff, and I feel like a 3% increase is honestly still not enough in my opinion, but I don't know the numbers like that, but we gotta show that we support and appreciate them, and then we do have inflation, so, we wanna make sure everybody's able to provide for their family.
But my only concern is we're giving, and I'm not saying this is an attack on the contracted employees, but it consistently feels like the people that are doing the most work tend to get underpaid. So the paras, I understand.
We don't want to quantify anyone doing more work than the other.
Not more work, but we have to acknowledge that labor is being done and it's not being fairly compensated is what I'm trying to say. So,
We can answer the question for the paras.
no, I don't want to have that discussion now. But
Mr. Baumann, can you elaborate on the paraprofessional?
no, this is not that resolution for that. We don't have to.
The MOUs are in the office. They
It's
need-
So,
time for-
roll call vote, how do you vote, Ferris? Headline,
Aye.
Paul, Elgin,
Aye.
and Ayash, aye. Resolution passes 5 ayes, 2 absent. I would like to leave a comment that if we're moving towards progress please, please, please do not forget people that are often forgotten in discussions. Thank you so much for reopening it. All right, believe it or not, we got to the end. Audience participation. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions or comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. The presiding officer will refer questions to the super for research and response. Persons wishing to address the Board of Ed must complete an audience participation form and submit it to me. Forms must be filled out completely. Craig, honey, rewrite this. No, you're rewriting this for me. No. Hey, does that say Daniel too? Yeah. Craig, you're rewriting it for me. Come on, you're coming. You're at the end now.
Yeah, I got it.
Rewrite it, honey. All right. Next, first up. No, you first. I just got your paper first. You know what? Go ahead, fill it up. Give me your whole name. I need to. I'll wait.
Craig Lamont, Dan.
That was not Daniel. Come on.
The government.
I could not have read that in any lifetime, sir. All right.
All right.
First up. Hang on 1 second.
Okay. I got 3 minutes.
Craig Lamont Daniels.
Yes,
Come on up. Subject of discussion. I cannot read what you wrote for your discussion, but come on up. You got 3 minutes.
Hi, board. I'm asking to reopen resolution number 8. I heard I was denied my conference. Everybody laughed at me when I came in. I wasn't being disrespectful to the board. Our 10U baseball team was playing at PAL down at Michigan, the old Tiger Stadium, so I was there cheering them on. We won 4-2. So I was rushing back, and then I just got in. Everybody laughed and said I got denied. I do when I go to conferences, I report back to the board every conference I've attended in the last 21 years in this district. I've never not reported back to the board on what I did, the goods, the pros, the cons. So I'm just asking the board if you can reopen resolution number 8, like we just did for the staff, because I go to one conference a year. And it's not like I go to multiple conferences. So I'm asking the board to reconsider going to the National Parks and Recreation Association conferences in Dallas, because that's when a lot of recreation professionals get together throughout the country and network, fellowship, go over different programs, talk about boards and our bosses and different things like that. So we do the gamut. So I'm asking the board tonight, can reconsider or tell me, what happened where I was cheering our kids on that it got denied, if you don't mind. Or just, you don't do no.
This is public comment, so we're not going to respond.
So I'm asking the board, can we open resolution number 8 and reconsider?
We will get through public comment first, Craig.
Okay, thank you so much.
All
Like it?
right.
Oh.
All right. Next up, I have Ebony Jackson. Ebony Jackson, come on up.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everybody. I know most of you, Salah, Victor, Deja. So today I'm here because I have a complaint, a concern, and a question, because I voted for most of you here that are elected on the board. I want to know, what do we do when we have school board members harassing community members? That's what I would like to know, because I know you emailed me back, Ms. Ahmed, today, and you told me how we go about moving forward, but it's been an ongoing situation with Dejavan Hall, Victor Ferris.
Please address the board.
Dejavan is my upstairs neighbor. On June 11th, there was a shooting outside our house involving her and Victor Ferris. The police knocked on my door 5:30 in the morning, and they asked me to check on the people in my household, okay? So after that, I reported it to my landlord, and ever since then, it's been an ongoing situation with Mrs. Hall.
Again, please address the board.
Okay, just Friday, me and her was in the backyard, and I was setting up. Our backyard is like 5 by 5, a little piece of cement. She came back there, she dropped her can right in the yard. As we know in Hamtramck, there is an ordinance that you bring the can in. She has a designated spot, I have a designated spot. She really don't supposed to be living in her mom's house. That's besides the point. I understand that. But what do we do when board members are harassing community members, especially one that was elected in? I voted for her. So, and I try to address Ms. Hall in the backyard, and she chose not to talk to me. She chose to walk away, leave the can. I decided to move her can and put it in the right way. She came back and decided to play tug of war with me, and then she chose to go to the police station and make false accusations on me. This has been going on ever since the shooting that happened outside of our house involving her and Mr. Ferris.
Again, address the full board.
Okay. And it's an ongoing situation. They have put my picture, my address on I Love Hamtramck. They told people to call protective service on me. Her whole family is harassing me. They have dug up my sunflowers in the backyard, and it's just ongoing malicious attacks against me ever since I reported what happened outside of my home when the cops woke me up at 5:30 in the morning and told me to check on my children. And I wasn't going to come here today, but now I have my 6-year-old son, Amar, who's terrified of Miss Hall. He has to encounter her on the porch when he's playing basketball, when he's playing soccer. And he told me, Mom, are you going to the meeting today at 6 o'clock? Don't forget to come to the meeting. So how do we de-elect this woman? De-elect, whatever word you want to call it. How do we get rid of this? Recall, like what could be done about it? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Tony Coral. Tony Coral, come on up.
Yesterday's rejection of the sinking fund renewal was a referendum on the leadership that sits before us today. A referendum on a board that chose to give itself a more than 700% raise instead of voting on the board renewal, the bond renewal resolution in March. A referendum on district leadership that had seemingly no district-wide plan to actively retain or recruit students. A referendum on a board that that no longer votes on check registers and invoices, unlike almost every other board in the state. A referendum on district leadership that never reached out to its largest bargaining unit to help with the bond. A referendum on a board that has suppressed the results of an investigation into alleged sexual harassment. A referendum on district leadership who rejected a candidate for the assistant principal's position at Dickinson West, which likely led in part to the principal's decision to leave our district. The assistant principal's job was then reposted on that principal's last day with the district. I could go on for several more minutes, maybe 60 more, but what's the point? I'm not sure you care. I challenge the board to put forth and pass a resolution stating that the board will not take a stipend at all. That would be a small but real sign to voters that you are not sitting here for personal gain.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Commissioner Martha G. Scott, come on up.
Good evening. I am Wayne County Commissioner Martha G. Scott, and I am here tonight because I do coffee hours every fourth Monday at Main Street here in Hamtramck. And I got so many calls about what's going on in the school system here that I had a special meeting dedicated to just listen to the constituents. I have been representing Hamtramck for many years. I'm here to serve the public, and that's why I have this particular meeting. It was so many things that I heard, and then today, when I heard that you lost the millage by so many votes, well, I said, now it's time for me to come over here and see what it is that we can do, because the county does put money into Hamtramck. I spend a lot of my park dollars here in the city of Hamtramck. And then at the meeting, I found out that we have a failing school, Dickinson West, where it is mostly black students that are there. And I have a real concern because all students need to be treated alike. We're all God's children and we need to be treated alike. So I am here today to say, what are you going to do about this failing school? I saw that the state rep indicated that there was some dollars coming into the school district. So I wanted to know where they were going. I did give him a call, but he has not returned my call. But I also spoke to the senator. Now, the senator has set up a meeting with myself and the superintendent. But I'm on budget, and we're having a meeting in Western Wayne on that same day. So I did indicate to the senator today that I would not be able to be at that particular meeting. But I am still concerned that I want to know what it is that you guys are going to do with a failing school. I'm sorry, did you say something?
30 seconds.
Okay. Well, I need a whole lot of time, so I will come back again or call you individually, because we are here to serve all of our students. And I will continue talking to you until this happens, you know. And so I can see why the millage did not pass, because you're not doing your job.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
You'll start doing your job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. All right, everybody. Next up, additional board discussion. Thank you to the board members for not responding to public comments as they were being distributed. Do we have any additional board discussion?
I got a couple.
Go ahead.
First off, I wanted to ask Ms. Ahmed, just for the upcoming student code of conduct and papers that we send home with the families, can you include 2 consents? 1 consent for photos/media, because I know we have it, but I guess it needs to be, you know, made aware that that's in there, because that's what my understanding was. It's always been in there, but we have families who were mad because their kids' photos ended up in the newspaper, and if we can make sure that this is a highlighted, you know, consent, so they understand what they're signing. And also, we need a consent for like any sex ed classes or anything, if they want their child to participate or not in these classes, as part of their beginning of the year paperwork that they take home for the families to sign. Please. And then I just wrote a little thing I'd like to read, if that's okay. As we're approaching into the new year, I would like to take a moment to recognize all the teachers, paraprofessionals, custodians, secretaries, administrators, and staff for their hard work in preparing the classrooms and schools for our new and returning students. We are looking forward for a bright year. Hamtramck Public Schools is one of the most inspiring districts in the nation. Despite our diverse nature, we share a common goal in guaranteeing that students and their future remains the main priority. Upon speaking with many teachers and staff members, I am humbled to witness the genuine passion and dedication that they have for their work. Our teachers possess an unmatched motivation to create a learning environment where their students will excel, exceed expectations, and reach their full potential. I have spoken with many HPS students as well as those who attend other districts and discovered the hopefulness and eagerness for them to be a part of this district for the opportunities it provides. This is attributed to the entire HPS family working tirelessly and collectively as a team to ensure a safe, promising, and welcoming space for all. Parents are moved and overjoyed by the increased diversity amongst our staff. Hamtramck residents recognize and admire how HPS is working to represent unity in a way that is motivating the children to be the best versions of themselves. Our brilliant teachers, administrators, and staff come from many different backgrounds and all walks of life, and yet work as equals in an inspiring way. We are all encouraged by their demonstration of respect, honor, love, patience, tolerance, acceptance, and fairness among one another. HPS has given families a new sense of belonging in this community. Parents are seeking that a world where their children will be accepted and treated fairly exists. Students witnessing that nothing has set them apart from their peers and the ability to have any future they dream of. I speak today to you not only as a board official, but also as a community member and a parent. I am proud to say that we are confident in our remarkable and incredible Hamtramck Public Schools teachers and staff. We are excited to see our children learn and grow this upcoming year. Each Hamtramck Public School employee plays a pivotal role for building the foundation of an effective and healthy work environment. Collaborative and corporate efforts and fundamentals to ensure the success of our students. We appreciate and are thankful to the HPS family for creating a space where the strength and unity and working together as a team is proven to be the most effective way towards a promising future for the world. Thank you for all your continued dedication and commitment to the Hamtramck Public Schools districts. You are all an important part of this community, and thank you, Ms. Ahmed, who continues to stay focused on our students, working vigilantly, protects the ethics, values, dignity, decencies, and morals that Hamtramck Public Schools stands for. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. I have additional board discussion. It is actually about the levy. So I understand Ms. Ahmed made comments earlier in the meeting. However, we do have 3 months until the next election. The levy will be back on there. I would like to see a more concerted effort to reach out to community leaders, folks that have specifically swayed the vote, because a lot of people got their information from social media, and since they weren't informed directly from the district, they had to make their own assumptions. So the commissioner came out today, she's willing to work with us. The union pointed out that they were not involved. Is there a way to involve
All staff.
all staff? Well, but they specifically asked to be invited.
Absolutely.
But specifically, I want to see like a plan and a pretty heavy one starting from yesterday, if that makes sense. Like that, there really is urgency around this. I don't want to think about what would happen if it didn't pass, but it sounds like there's people that are already vested. There are people here in the audience that are community leaders that are willing to work with you. I think you just have to, extend the olive branch first.
Absolutely, and HFT was invited, and we did have a discussion. That's not true.
Oh, no.
That's not true.
Okay, now from the peanut gallery, there is clearly a miscommunication. They told us today that they were not. So
We'll
please,
have minutes.
please formally invite them so that they can get involved. That's, we are here now. We're at the deadline. We have less than 3 months.
Can you share that then?
The general?
You have that? Please share it also. Thank you.
You can share it, but it doesn't change the fact that they felt
It
that they
does change
weren't.
the fact that they're saying they're not being invited, and she's saying that they
But
were.
but that's what I'm saying. So they feel that they were not
Let's see what the
included.
truth is.
It's not about the truth. It's okay. It's not about, no. It's not, it's okay. It's not about whether or not, she said she invited them and they said they weren't invited.
And we met.
But something broke down. So here's where the truth kind of got confused. Something broke down where HFC felt like they were not invited to contribute and there was no work to be done with them, right? So it is about the truth, but there's something happened interpersonally that affected that truth. Do you understand what I'm saying, Sal?
Right, but don't.
I'm
I
sorry, I'll
understand,
take,
so don't answer.
no,
it.
I'm
I
sorry,
appreciate it. Anyway.
I'll take it back, you're right, I'm sorry. Absolutely, get that information, so that's
That's
on
all
me.
I asked for, was
Yeah.
the information.
That's fair.
Thank
But
you.
I am putting, like, there's an urgency around extending the olive branch to multiple avenues of communication. Lots and lots and lots of people got their information from everywhere but the district. And that is why they voted the way they voted, and that's the truth. So that's kind of my concern with that. And then Craig, we are not responding to public comment. However, we as a board did discuss your resolution.
Okay.
The concern comes from, we believe you would benefit more from Michigan-based professional development, and so that's why we voted the way we voted.
So can I ask a question?
Absolutely, this is no longer public
All
comment.
right, so the professional in the field, right,
Yeah, sure.
who goes to these conferences yearly, through the board, and the board thought that I can be best served by a Michigan conference.
No, Michigan Professional Development. So you pointed out you've been going for 21 years. We as a collective have not seen progress from the conferences, not saying there's no progress.
Well, let's talk about that. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
great point.
yeah, so let's have the dialogue. So we are,
Movie in the Park, I got that from Utah. We brought the movie screen in Utah at a conference.
Mhm.
The splash pad, I got that out of Denver,
Mhm.
out of Denver, Colorado. Building the basketball course out of here, I got that at a conference out of Georgia, working with Game Time and different organizations,
Right.
and networking and programming.
Mhm.
So it's not like a field trip or let's have.
No,
fun.
not at all.
So my point as a professional, I think the board, in all due respect, should respect that I'm going to bring something back to the district, to the community, and not just going to have a party. So
Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. I'm not going. What are you talking about?
Well, what my comments were
Yeah.
is, while that's respectable that you're trying to bring all these new things, is we need to focus on what we have and why we're losing things that we don't want to see lost. For example, the youth basketball. That's something that the elementary schools have had, and now it's non-existent.
Okay.
There's other things
So
though.
let me finish. I mean, we got to talk facts. Our basketball numbers this year was high as has it been. Our soccer numbers were over 51 kids. We got 12 baseball kids now who's playing just won the championship. We got over 100 some kids swimming. We got almost 200 kids in the summer camp program. So we're gonna talk, let's talk factual. So it's not like our programs are suffering. We're bouncing back since COVID and we're growing. Our senior programs, we got 37 seniors going to the Prince's on Saturday. We had 700 people at Inflatathon here at Keyword.
Okay, then
So
why
we
are
have-
we always in a deficit with the recreation
No,
department
that's
every year?
not true. This
It is
past
true.
year,
We
this
can pull up all the
this
finances.
past year, we had a surplus. This past fiscal year, we had a surplus. The last 2 years, we had a surplus per Ms. Sherry Lynham and us doing the budget. It's factual, look it up. So my point to you is that.
Again, sorry, Mr. Daniels, going back to what I said. The board does not have an issue with you doing professional development. They just voted against taking you out of state. We can try
But
again
that's
next
what
year.
my professional development is though.
But if
It's
there's
2 a year.
if there's a
It's one in
national-
national and it's one local that I drive to, the Michigan State one, Michigan.
Yeah,
So I go, okay.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
But,
you can.
so the board who is not in recreation, who's not in the field, feel like I'm not gaining anything back
No,
home.
no.
That's what you're saying.
No, the board was saying that we think you would benefit from being here, and we're not discouraging professional development, but we just.
But I only have 2 opportunities. It's not like I'm a teacher. They have them every week. We have 2, one in the national and one state. I'm asking to go to one state, and it was documented that Ms. Jackson go to the state one, and I go to national. That's been documented per each superintendent.
Sure, but it's not guaranteed, it still has to come before the board, and the board.
I mean, that just started within the last few years. Like being on the agenda, it has.
The policy was always there, though, so I'm not sure when the policy came out, but it is what it is. Mr.
I mean, I just don't understand who a professional in the field for almost 27 years. It's not like I'm going to party or have a good time. I'm networking, I'm bringing stuff back.
And you're now being
And then
penalized,
the board
and we're
who's
not
not
making
in
that
the field,
assumption.
that's like telling a nurse don't go to a nurse conference or a teacher don't go to a teacher conference because we feel like they better serve
That's why it
somewhere
was
else.
made very clear that we're not limiting your professional development, but this vote to go out of state failed, Mr. Daniels.
I mean, I just want to know the reason why.
And I
I
explained
mean,
it. I don't know.
you just,
Because
so
you
you said the superintendent has,
no, that's okay. I mean, I appreciate y'all, but we don't have to do a GoFundMe. Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
so you said the superintendent has said for Ms. Jackson to go to state and you to go.
Years past.
Right,
Yeah.
so how about this year, both of you go to state instead of just sending Ms. Jackson?
I see you're dead set on it, and you're not gonna listen to what I say, the professional in this field. So I mean, at this point, if that's how y'all feel, I mean, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That conference is next year. So next March or April. And then what we don't like to do, we're a 2-man full-time department. We don't like to take 2 people out of our 2-man department or 2-person department.
Sure.
So it's 2 full, I mean, I got like a admin, you know what I'm
No, I
talking
know,
about,
but I'm just
professional.
saying.
So she go to one, I'm in Dallas or wherever, she go to state when I'm still here locally. When I'm on vacation, she stay here and vice versa. When she on vacation, I stay back, because there's only 2 of us.
Yeah, but you could still schedule that out for the upcoming conferences, like, it's not an issue to get professional development.
But it's not like I have many choices. I'm being sincere. It's
I
not
know,
like
but
recreation is
like you
like,
said, you've had this role for 27 years, and you can
no,
always think of
21, 18 here, 21 total.
21, okay, you
Yeah.
said 27 a little bit earlier. Okay,
Right.
21. I know you can think outside the box and you're a creative person. I don't think this is a penalty towards you. I don't think this is an attack on you. I noted that earlier. It's just, this is an out-of-state conference the board didn't approve. It's not about the funding.
No, I'm just asking why. You said because y'all felt that it was better
You
served.
should utilize your time here locally, that's all. Thank you so much.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
All right, any additional board discussion? All right. Resolution 15, adjournment, do I have a motion? I heard one, do I have a second? Okay, Haim, result of the board, the regular meeting be adjourned at 8:01 PM. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 absent. Thank you so much.